let me through. I had no choice.
Who's that? Is he with us?
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out a bit. So that's just what I did.
Behind us! Stay on it!
As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kids' apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Can't take us all, huh? Come out, you yellow bastard!
I knew that going through that front door meant putting my butt in a shooting gallery, so I decided to get sneaky.
Watch out! He's one of them! He's right behind you!
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut
Send
off.
these some bitches running!
Still, one of them reached the water tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed.
You think you can kill me? I've got this.
A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks.
Hold on.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you!
Watch your flank!
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. Their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad.
Can't hear you!
They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear. I passed Dirty Dave.
Deader than a rat in a trap!
And upstairs, I found Billy and Charlie Baldry.
How about that? Hey, like that!
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo! Grab a gun and get to the window!"
Look away.
So you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
Where the hell Garrett get to? He's missing on the outside. Over there!
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side! I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatling, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. I said that it was time to cut and run. He directed that order at me, and I thought, why the hell do I have to do it?
Those poor sons of bitches are
Many
done
would have
for.
fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Graves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I? You can't get me.
You were heading for the barn. I'm gonna cut you, boy!
Making my way past a vessel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. You're dead! Finally, I had the stables within my reach. And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star. to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake. And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables. After the fight, maybe we could treat ourselves to some fried chicken. And stepped inside, and last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on, how did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah. It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after. He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too. My first order of business was finding a firearm. Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun. I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Shot Jim Bell! Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim at that. The kids escaped raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Anybody see him?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
How the hell did the kid escape? Garrett's gonna kick our ass! Can't have gotten far!
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever gonna find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there.
Where'd he get you?
I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past. But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
You hooligans can go to hell.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and coloring. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Get your headstone!
There's children here.
Stop him!
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Put down your weapon! That town's going to hell in a handbasket!
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free. So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town. I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun. Anyway, there was me or them. The only way forward led me straight to perdition. But the cards were dealt, and I had no choice but to play them.
I'm indestructible. Oh, you are shit out of Come on, smoke that son of a bitch. This is too good for him. Oh, now what?
We're gonna be in deep shit when Pat gets back!
I might be scared. God damn, he's hard to hit.
Looking for the stables on the edge of town.
Stop him!
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. "Hello, Bob," I said. "I think you better let me go." And he says, "I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun." So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself. Some say I fought unfairly, but they weren't the ones looking him in the eye that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rural? So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there!
I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first.
Stand and fight, you coward!
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed... Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament. I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be. Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this?
You're done!
They were hunting me like I was game. I swear to God, that's how I felt.
Where's he gonna run to now?
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right, Jack. I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds.
Where's he going?
It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins. I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Clanton, I'm coming for you!" A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till Kingdom Come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun. Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Show yourself! You're gonna need a dustpan! Hey, let's see what you make! Hey, you bastard! You ain't gotta reload again! Don't let that some bitch get away with that! You won't stupid some bitch! Stop your hiding from me! I don't know how you lived this long. Oh, gotta reload. Wait, goddamn bullets. Look at you, you yellow belly hiding sap sucker. What I ever do to you? Damn, I gotta reload. Oh! Would you get that? You want stupid zombie? I don't know how you lived this long.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon. But it was just me.
Damn bullets. You murdering bastard! How you live this long? What a piece of crap! Hey, let's see what you're made of, boy! Oh, you did that! You want stupid zombie! What I ever do to you? They're gonna need a gun pack! Would you get that? I need your good man, you'll kill it! Show yourself! You stupid zombie! Damn contraption, damn the bitch! I don't know how you live this long. Look at you, you yellow belly hiding sap sucker! What I ever do to you? Damn, I gotta reload.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral. A few weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill. They were loaded for bear.
So what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Earp's coming!
Get ready, boys. First, I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil. Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
This some bitch is pissing me off.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other, and I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Somebody kill him!
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
That lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
This is gonna hurt.
sir, I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Shoot you dead!
Kill. Oh, now. Don't let that ass. Just shoot the son of a bitch. Can you shoot around corners? Get him from the side.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand. Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me on the open.
Time to dance with the devil! Come on out, spider! Get that son of a bitch! You to kill me?
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo.